All we need is men. Ta-na-na-na-na. All we need is men. Ta-na-na-na-na. As you can see, we are two women. Two young women to speak about women at TEDxBarcelonaWomen. Seems rather normal, right? But you know what? We are not going to talk about men, about women. It's about men that we will talk about. Not because we are obsessed about them, not because we are in love with them, although to be frank, we are a little bit. Not because we want to be different and have decided to counter an entire century of feminist discourse. No, that's not why. The reason why we are going to talk about men is because we are absolutely convinced that today, in 2013, men represent the future of women. To be more specific, young men do not only represent the future of women, but the future of all coming generations. And to be even more specific, young, modern, and radiant men represent the future of women, stemming from all generations in the Western corporate world. But why? Why such a statement that makes the most conservative and traditional of feminists rise off their chair and makes the most macho of men lose consciousness? Because these young men have become modern-time feminists.
And how is this possible? It's very simple. This revolution started out with the advent of the Y generation. Now you may ask, what is the Y generation? Well, to state it out boldly, it represents all people under 30 years of age that are arriving massively on the work market. It is a generation that arouses many questions, many contradictions, and many managerial difficulties. It is a generation that holds two main characteristics: to be the first postmodern generation and to be the first global generation. And for these two reasons, this generation has developed a brand new relationship towards the corporate world. We became interested in this generation, not only because we are part of it, but also because we feel that we are players of a silent revolution, without really being able to put words on it and without being able to apprehend this rising phenomenon. This is why we decided to conduct the first international survey on the Y generation. We wanted to understand its vision on the future and its positioning on gender diversity issues.
And we discovered something extraordinary. When you ask more than 1,000 representatives of the Y generation across all 5 continents what their life objectives are, they will state, without any cultural or sexual distinction, work-life balance. And this comes long before the salary or social status. These young men and women are looking for a balanced and blooming experience within companies, where previous generations evaluated their success through others. With the demonstration of social success, this new generation, more individualistic and self-centered, measures its success with its own eyes, with the pleasure and balance it will experience on a daily basis. For you, warriors that are today present in this room, our discourse must be an extraordinary banality, since we are currently talking about what you are and nothing more. And maybe you have never felt extraordinary or builders of a revolution, but yet you profoundly are, especially on this crucial subject of gender diversity.
But why? Because acquiring a balance between the professional and the personal life has been a major feminist demand during the past 30 years. A number of women have fought for the right to be, at the same time, good mothers, good co-workers, and fulfilled women. Because behind this quest for work-life balance, they have fought against an outdated and foolish principle, that of having to be present, meaning it had become more important for them to come to work and be physically visible inside the company than to be productive. This feminist struggle was the key that would unlock all doors, for it prompted a new vision on the career. It became a vector of fulfillment and no longer of sacrifice. And later, these feminists, these women, these heroines of our times founded families and had children, both boys and girls, us. these young people were brought up by mothers that were part of the first generation in which a majority of women have worked and arrived where we're supposed to arrive. We unconsciously became the natural inheritors of these feminist struggles and are now seeking the same work-life balance, considering it the main component of a successful life. Today, when young people enter a company, it is one of the main requests they make, leading some to even take the risk to quit their job would this balance not be respected. Year after year, we have observed the transformation from a purely feminine ideal into an entirely generational one. And today, when we talk about gender diversity policies, it is less as gender than generational. And this changes everything.
Why? Well, because companies today have two different ways to manage gender diversity issues. Half of them consider it as a social, ethical, and moral dilemma. As half of the world population is composed of women, then logically, half of companies' workforce must be women, and half of managing positions must be occupied by these same women. The success of this strategy depends on the engagement and faith of top management. And unfortunately, most of the time, it's very difficult to engage middle management with this kind of moral argument. Why? Well, because a company is not a place where justice, but rather the economic argument prevails. It's the reason why half of companies adopt a different strategy, the business case strategy. In order to convince its collaborators of the importance for women to occupy positions at all different levels, some companies try to establish a link between the presence of women in managerial positions and business performance. Work teams displaying gender diversity will then be more competitive, creative, and productive. Beyond its rather cynical quality, and it should be noted that nobody has never tried to establish such a link for men, but anyway, this causal link remains controversial.
Allow me to summarize what we have just told you. On the one side, we know that for wires, both men and women, work-life balance is a major aspiration. That this same aspiration once used to be exclusively feminine and was hence at the heart of gender diversity policies. And that we have observed a switch from a purely feminine ideal into an entirely generational one. On the other side, we have come to understand that moral convictions are not sufficient enough for companies to fully engage in gender diversity policies, and that no causal link has been proven in regards to the economic argument.
All right, have you got the global picture? If so, hang on to your seat, because we have been able to build a business case that links gender diversity policies and business performance. A business case not relying on women, but relying on the Y generation, and more especially on its young men. Gender diversity policies that allows companies that aims at preserving, the work-life balance, and beyond that, the well-being of collaborators within companies, are becoming a key to attract and retain the best talent of our generation, both boys and girls. In other words, developing modern and long-lasting gender diversity policies allows companies to attract and retain the best talent of the Y generation. And the impact of this attraction and retention effect is economically quantifiable through the reduction of turnovers. That is it, the business case that will make things change. There it is, the revolution that we are talking about.
The unconscious implication of young men on these topics has fundamentally changed the story. Its main chapter has evolved from a gender diversity chapter to a generational chapter, from a social marketing and communication case to a strategic case, from a micro topic to a macro topic, and it has become a worldwide chapter. Today, young men hold between their hands the power to change things for all women of all generations. This is why, with a large smile, with huge hope, and with humor, we can today say that men are the future of all women. And we insist on hope, for no one can predict the future. No one knows how they will react when their first child will be born. No one knows how they will behave when they will have to choose between their career or their partners. No one knows if they will still prove able to assume their current ideals under the company's pressure. and no one knows if they will still express their opinions with growing responsibilities. No, no one can tell, but one may hope.
Many will say that our discourse is utopian and completely disconnected from reality, that it mostly lies on faith rather than on facts, and that in a context of economic crisis, young people do not have the freedom to slam the door if their work-life balance is not respected. It may be true, but we assume it. We have chosen to see things on the bright side, in an inclusive fashion, with both boys and girls together to change things. We have chosen to remain positive in order to appeal to young people. We have chosen to use fun and pleasure instead of the current overwhelming pessimism and gloominess. And finally, we have chosen to believe in a self-realizing principle, to say that things are going well in order for everything to go well, to start moving in order for things to start changing, and to commit in order for everyone to start committing. And you know what? It's working. Start changing things. You have the power to.
Thank you.
Vas-y, on applaudit.